Welcome to our workshop today. We will be working with some fiber paste and some modeling paste, and I am going to present all the materials to you that we will be using in this workshop. This is going to be very simple to do. Anybody can do this, and this is the image that we are going to try to duplicate. And we're going to use very simple materials. Right now, I have a number 12 flat brush and a number 12 round brush. I have a little bucket of water. I have a little piece of wax paper, but if you have a paper plate, that works fine too. Paper towels. You need your little canvas, like I have here. And we need some blue tape to mark our canvas up, okay? And I'm using very simple paints. If you don't have these at your school or at home, anything will do that you have. So the first color I have is white, and it doesn't mean that I'm going to use them all, but you may want to use some. I have blue. I have yellow. I have red. And I have black. And I have a little bit of brown, okay? And since this is live, and some of you are watching from the comfort of your classrooms or homes, if you have any questions, please put it on the feed, and somebody will alert me that there was a question, and I'll be happy to answer it. It may take a couple of minutes, but we will make sure that your question is answered. If you're watching this after the video was recorded, feel free in the comments to put your question, and we will answer it for you. So no question will go unanswered, okay? Let's see. I have extra paper towels on my side here to work with. My name is Chris Cruz, and I'm a resident artist here at the Shelby County Arts Council. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna use our blue masking tape to mark the areas that we will be painting in. So what I did is I am going to paint my canvas. You can do it either way. You can do it long ways or you can do it sideways, whichever way is more comfortable for you. I am going to do it this way so that you can see it better on the camera, but any way you put it at your classroom is fine. When I'm painting, I always try to find where the center of my canvas is. So I think the center is more or less here. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I will take my masking tape and cut a little piece and put it right behind here, so that if I touch it, I know that I'm in the middle of my canvas. And if you notice, all of our flowers are very abstract, so there is no doing this, too perfect or anything like that. The first thing we're gonna do is paint the backgrounds, and then we're gonna put our flowers in. Now my flowers on this picture are orange and red, but you can do them any color you want. Colors in nature are popular, any color you want to do. And I'll show you how to mix a few of the colors too on the paper, and I'll show you how to mix a few of the colors on the canvas. I will put this aside for right now. So I know that I want to have my flowers going halfway down, so I will cut another little piece of masking tape and put it on this side, and then put it on the other side. And I know that I'm more or less a quarter of the way down. So if you touch it, you know that, okay, I'm a quarter way down for my painting. I know that I don't want my flowers to go past this point because I want my stems to show through. So take your masking tape again. Simple so far, right? And we haven't even picked up a paintbrush yet. So I will put this here. I will take this one, right? And put it down here. So no flowers beyond this point. Simple, right? Okay, so now we can get to painting. So first thing is, we're not gonna use brushes just yet. We're gonna use a paper towel as a paintbrush. And the background, if you notice, has a lot of different colors. It has yellows, it has blues, and it has browns. So what I did is, you're gonna take your paint tube and you're gonna open it up. And you are going to put about a dime size paint on your paper plate or palette. So that's what I have, a little dime size. Close your little tube, because if you do like me sometimes and you leave it open, you can hit it accidentally and get the paint on your canvas where you don't want it. I have my yellow. I'm gonna put it right here, kind of in the middle of my plate. Okay, and I'm going to take white. And I always use titanium white versus any color of white because it mixes better. If you use like zinc white or something like that, it's a little bit more transparent, so you may not get the effect you want. Zinc white is not a good one. So titanium white is the one we're gonna use. So again, I put it on my palette, and I'm gonna put my paints to the side. You won't need the masking tape for anything else, so you can move it to the side and forget about it. First thing I wanna do is put a little bit of color in here. And if I was to use this little brush to try to put color in my background, we would be here until next year. So we have to try to make things easy for ourselves. I will take a paper towel, right, and dip it in the water. So I'll give you a chance to do that if you're watching me live. And I'm just gonna brush a little bit of water on my canvas with my paper towel, right? No biggie. So I will take a little corner of the yellow, and I'm just gonna press it down, and I'll be painting this upside down, so you will see it the right side up, okay? So I will take my yellow and just bring it all the way down, and already we have color on there, right? I will take a little bit of my blue and put it in between, and see how it doesn't have to be perfect? I just want color in my background. If you get too much paint and you don't want to get your hands dirty, take your little paper towel, wet it again, squeeze it, take your blue, and come in another section. And as you can see, we're already getting these colors in our background. Don't worry about the little tissue paper fibers coming up. That, when it dries up, you can just brush it off. It comes off really easy. Come back here and do a little bit more blue. Do some in the corners here. You can mix a little blue and the white, and it will give you a different color of blue. And now we basically have a background. If you're the type of person that you like colors a little deeper, you can add a little brown. If you don't like the brown color, then don't put it on there. This is your painting project, okay? Now, after this video is recorded, you will be able to have different sign language, closed captioning and everything on your end, so that you can see and hear what we're doing. So we're making this available to everybody. I put a little bit of brown in my background just so that my flowers will stand out. And I'm not worried about the top. And notice that when I'm painting, I keep my finger in the middle here so that I can guide myself of where I am on my canvas. So I know now that I want to put my flowers in. And the flowers are going to be one of the easiest things to paint. So if you take a little bit of fiber paste. Now, fiber paste is a mixture of if you think about it, a whole bunch of little paper crumbled up, and it has almost, I'm gonna take my finger, and it has almost like a little, I don't know, fluffy, marshmallowy consistency, right? So this is a little bit different than the modeling paste. I will take my brush and put a little glob of this fiber paste on my palette. And you can put about $50, that looks like. Put it to the side, and I'm not even rinsing my brush off. This is one of those projects that I use very little water with. So I will take my modeling paste, and if you look at the modeling paste, it's more like toothpaste, right? The consistency is totally different. And why do I want two different consistencies? Because when you do your flowers, you don't realize it on this picture, but some of the areas are going to be higher than others. Some of the areas are going to be a little bit more flat, like it is here. And you can control the color that you want using your modeling paste or your fiber paste. First thing we're going to do is we're going to mix some paint with the fiber paste. Now you can make a few little colors if you like. You can do just one color. I like to mix different colors with my flowers. I just think it adds a little bit of interest to it. So if we put a little bit of red on our palette, what happens if we mix red and yellow? Oh, I hear somebody saying you get orange, right? So you take your little red, right, and put it on the side here with a little yellow, or a little bit more yellow, and your fiber paste. And as you mix it, look at that pretty orange you've created, right? Now I'm going to use my paper towel to wipe my brush, and I'm going to take the molding paste, put a little pile here, and take my red and put it on the side. So you can see that one is very light and one is a lot darker. If you want even a little bit more purpley color, you can take a little bit of this red and this blue, right? And we make purple. And I will take a little bit of the modeling paste and put it in here to create texture. The whole idea, see how fluffy that's getting? That's what we want. I'm going to wipe it on my paper towel again. And that same little orange that we have, I'm just going to mix a little bit more on here. And I'm going to take a little white and make it lighter. So now if you look at it, we have little peaks and valleys on these, right? I'm going to move my paper to the side. And again, I'm going to put my hand right here in the middle. And I'm going to start. Remember where we put these other two little tapes? Right here in the middle. So think of it as a T, letter T, right? So we're going to have the long stick here for the T and the side ones here. So I'm going to start more or less in this area. And I'm going to take, believe it or not, a nice chunk of that. And I'm just going to put it down on my canvas. And you're going to create a flower, right? And if you can see, all of this is raised up. I'm not even going to clean my brush, and I'm going to take some red and I'm going to put it right next to it. And you can make your flowers as big or small as you want. I'm going to do them in all different sizes because I think it looks better. So without even rinsing my brush, I take my molding paste again, or modeling paste, and I'm going to make a big flower here. And I'm going to tap it. And that's going to give me a different color than these three. And we're using the same colors, if you notice. So if you don't keep rinsing your brush out or changing the colors, you can get a nice effect, and they will be in the same family. So I keep cleaning my palette up and picking up maybe some fiber paste. And I'm going to put a big flower here. I just do a little circle, and with my fiber paste, I'm just going to tap, tap, tap. If you never painted before, you can do this. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. This is a super fun project to do. And then when this dries, it gives you a nice texture. So you can touch it and just feel all the different colors that you've mixed in there. So I'm going to make a little flower here, and this one is a little bit clearer because it has less paint on it. Let's put one in here. And if you notice, I'm not doing the same colors everywhere. I'm just picking up color and molding paste and just tap, tap, tap on your brush, right? So now we have a nice variety of colors of our flowers. We can put a lot more on there because we have all these little flowers that are not even flowers. If you notice, they're just little somethings of flowers. So that's what you want to do. You don't want to overcrowd it with flowers. You want to take your time and put just a little flicker here and there of color. So for that, I'm going to put some more color on my palette, and I'm going to take a little bit of yellow and maybe a little red. And my white. Always use white. White is your lifesaver. So now I haven't rinsed my brush yet, right? You have watched me. I haven't even wiped it on my paper towel. So I will take a little bit of the red and the white to give me a little bit different color. And I still have a lot of texture on here that you can put on your palette. So instead of tap, 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 I'm just gonna flick my brush. And I mean, take your brush and just kind of flick it. And I just press it down and go. And that one didn't come out too good. Let's do it again. I'm gonna press it and go. Now I have a nice little petal coming off that flower that you have there. Pick up a little bit of molding paste and flick. Take a little bit of the paint you have in your palette and just mix it in here, all different sizes. It doesn't matter, because these are what? Remember? Petals. So petals sometimes fall in all different directions, so there are our petals. Now we will definitely rinse our brush out because we have a lot of stuff on it. And we will wipe it on a paper towel. And now if you have your round brush, we will wet it first to get all the sizing out of the brush if it's a brand new brush you're using. And what is sizing in a brush? When the brush companies make these brushes, they put some sizing in it, and it's kind of like a little wax so that when you buy a brush, it comes out looking perfect. But you have to get that sizing out in order to paint. So if you're working with a brand new brush and it looks stiff to you, what you have to do is just put it in your little water container, get all that little sizing out, and then just rub it around your paper towel. And now you have a nice brush to work with, right? So now we want to add some little color to these flowers. So we have a contrast that we need to create, right? Because if not, all of these flowers are going to look the same value. So again, I'm putting my finger here on my tape that's in the middle because I want to know where my centers are. And I'm going to do my centers in blue, but you can do them in any color you want. You can mix red and blue, but just make sure that you have a big contrast. I will take the blue paint here, and I'm going to push that into the middle of my center. And that's going to give me a nice defined center. And don't make them all the same size. This one I'm going to make a little different, a little smaller. This one I'm barely going to do. I'm going to do it like a little happy face. Not every flower has to have a center. This one, maybe the center's over here. And how do I know where the center goes? Because you put it wherever you want it to go. Okay, so don't worry that all the flowers, the center has to go in the center. The center can be laying on the side. You know how flowers get heavy when they grow. I will take a little bit here and put it on that flower. And this little guy here that's by himself, flick a little color on there. Now you can rinse your brush again completely. And rub it on your paper towel so that you can get the form back on your brush, right? And if you see some little hair sticking out like here, that's because the brush is brand new. And some of those, when they tighten up these little ferrules, didn't get all in there. Now what I want to do is I want to start darkening up my background right in here. And what I want to do is make this very liquid so that a lot of this drips into the next flowers. And I don't want it perfect, right? Nobody's perfect. Flowers are not perfect. Nature is not perfect. So we are going to just water this down with the different colors we have on our palette to make the center of this painting a little bit darker. Okay? So I will take my round brush again. And I'm going to start, remember, put your finger right here in the middle, and I'm going to start right in the middle. I will look at my paint palette and I'll go, ooh, what color do I like better? So I like yellow. Yellow is sunshine and all of that. So I'm gonna just drop the yellow in here. Again, don't rinse your brush out. Pick up a little bit of blue and that will create what color? Green. So this is gonna be a little dark color coming on here. See that? And if you let it flow with a little bit of water, it's gonna go right into your flowers. Look at that. See the water going down there? Keep going, keep going. Put a little bit more water on it. Let it go, until it disappears. Don't wipe it. This is supposed to be an abstract painting, so that gives it a little character. I will come on this side here. Remember that we don't want any flowers beyond this point, so I'm gonna put this here. And what color do you think we should do next? Maybe blue? I don't know. Okay, somebody said blue. So we're gonna put blue here, and I already had red in my brush, so that's giving me a little bit of purple. See that? Even without me wanting to put color on here, the colors are telling me what to do, and I'm listening. So when I mixed my yellow with this color here, and inadvertently, I made purple, and I really like this. And I'm gonna connect that purple with the green to make this background dark. And again, rinse my brush, and I'm gonna put some water on here and let it drip off the canvas. Now that's looking really good, if I say so myself. Okay, that looks cute. Now, we have this little area here, and we wanna go darker again. So I rinse my brush, just in case, and I'm going to take that dark red mixture that I did earlier, and I'm gonna put it back here. And I'm gonna see what happens when I add my yellow. So I'm gonna put some yellow in here and a lot more water. And I'm gonna have a little orange coming out. Now, if you want this center here to be darker, what do you think we should do? Oh yeah, somebody said add a little bit of blue. Thank you for that suggestion. Okay, so we're gonna take a little blue, and we're gonna put it here, and we're gonna make this a little bit darker. You can make it as dark as you want, as light as you want. Go around here and make it a little darker. And what we're doing is we're working all the colors together that we had on our palette. And by touching the other colors, they become different colors altogether. They become their own colors. So whether you want to or not, you have no control over this. Now we need to put some little stems on it, right? So what happens if we mix a little bit of this brown with some blue? I don't know. So I will put a little bit of mixture here. I really don't know what color this is gonna be, but it's gonna be, ooh, a nice little pretty dark blue, brown, something. So I will put a little stem on here. Oh, that is a little nice stem. And I'm gonna put a little stem right through that water. And what happens is you separated the drip that you had, but you're really separating your flower, right? I will take a little bit more of this brown and put it here and let it flow. Now that's looking like an awesome painting right now. I think so. And I'm sure your paintings are looking just as awesome as mine. Actually, they may even be better than mine. So share some of your pictures with me so we can see how you're progressing doing this. And teachers, don't feel like, oh my God, my students are doing so good, I need to get better, because we learn from our students all the time, every day. I will put another little brown line here. And what do you think? Do you think we should put some more color in the middle, or we should put some color in the flowers? In the flowers? Okay. I will put some colors in the flowers. So I will take my red with a little bit of blue, and I'm just gonna touch the edges of these flowers. And I'm just gonna tap it, because remember that fiber paste won't dry probably until this afternoon, late this afternoon or tomorrow. So if you're at a school, when you come in the next day, you're gonna see your project all nice and finished and pretty, and you're gonna be very impressed with yourself. take a little bit of that dark color and put it on the bottom here. And notice that my paint is very watery. See that? So now we did a little shading. And we're going to put a little color on this one. And just let it go into the little nook and crannies in here. And this one here, let's put a little yellow, see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen. It looks really good. Gives it a little highlight, doesn't it? See, you got to experiment with these things. The paint tubes don't tell you, if you put this color on this one, this is what's going to happen. You're going to have to figure that out yourself. So we just did. We just figured out that if we put a bit of yellow on that red, it gives it a highlight. And it doesn't take away from your red flower. The secret is to make sure you have a lot of water in your brush. Okay, so I think we need a little bit darker color in here, or maybe not. Maybe I'll mess it up. Think I'll mess it up? Leave it alone? Okay, I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone. I'll listen to you. So now, how about we take some white? What's going to happen if I take some of that white and put it right here on the side and put it on here? I got a bigger highlight. Take a little bit more of that white, put it on here. And let all those colors work together. They're a big family of colors, big color of nature. And I'm sure you have come up with some project that I haven't even thought of to do with this modeling paste and this fiber paste. So feel free to share it with us because we want to learn from you too. So here we have these little red flowers that need some little help. And we're on a little bit darker on here. So I'm going to take the original red that we had and I'm going to put some of that color right here in the center. And a little bit here on the side. And I'm going to take advantage that this here is elevated. So I'm going to take a little bit of my blue and see how washy that is. I will put it right underneath it, just this little flower. And let it drip with the rest of them. Are you guys having fun? I hope you are. Because this is a lot of fun. Painting is fun no matter what you paint, right? You can paint a bird, a dog, a flower. And I'll put a little bit of that color up here so that we don't have all that white showing. Okay. Any more questions from anybody? Okay, so we're doing people are going right along, all right. So since we have a few minutes left, we're gonna put some more color on this. Now that here is too dark compared to this side, right? So let's make this side a little bit darker too. We're gonna add a little bit of that color here. And all I'm doing is taking a little bit of colors that are just on my palette and I'm watering them down a lot. And by doing this, you're gonna let the paint run into your water. See that? Look, it's gonna drip. Drip, 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 all the way down. Now these centers, to me, look too blah, right? Everything else has movement in it. And the centers kind of look like we stuck some blue paint in there, right? It's because that's exactly what I did. So what can we do to change it? What do you think? Adding a little bit of light color, a little bit of dark color? What if we did both? I have not done this before, but let's see what happens if we add two colors. I'm gonna add some little color underneath this petal here, the center of the flower. And that will give me a little shading all around it. That came out good. Okay, and this one has to go over here, right? Because this flower is kind of going in this direction down. So let's put a little stem on here, so that you know that that flower is going that way. And not every one of them has to have a stem. You know that it has a stem. And I will put a little bit of that color in here. But now we need a highlight, right? Now that we're getting carried away with this and we're really getting into this, right? It's like now we can't be stopped. So we'll take a little bit of white and we're gonna go right here on the center, let it rub right into that blue. And we're gonna rinse it off. And look at all we've done with just 2 little brushes and just a few colors of paint. All of us can be artists. If you're dreaming that, oh, one day I want to be a big famous artist, well, this is the way to start. Give yourself, you know, the opportunity of play around with all these paints and all these textures, because paint is unlimited. You can do whatever you want. These little dots here, I just take a little bit more water and I put it down. And I want to make these stems a little bit darker. And this one here. Right? What if we did some leaves? Would you like to have some leaves on these? You do? Okay. So let's take some blue and some yellow, because leaves are mostly green, right? Unless they're dying, like me when I plant my plants. I'm not a good gardener, so most of my leaves are brown and not green, but I will make them green as if I got them from the store. But this green, I think, is going to be too bright on there. So I'm going to add a little bit more blue, and we'll try it out. So to do a leaf, I'm just going to press my brush and just pull a little color on there. That looks good, actually. And I'm going to put some on here, and let the paint guide you. See how it doesn't have to be a perfect leaf? I'm going to take my green again and a little blue. And all I'm doing is I'm going to do this really slow. I'm just picking up my brush, and with the little tip of my brush, I am coming right next to the stem and pressing it and just picking it up. And we can put one up here and maybe a few here. It needed leaves. You were right. It needed some leaves in there. So we're going to add some more. Let's see, one right here, like it's coming out of its little. That looks really cute. So what do you think we need to add to this? Well, here, these little drops need to go down into our painting. Okay. And I'm taking just my pure red to highlight a little bit of this. Rinse my brush. And just add some water. Notice how everything I've done, I've added water and water and water, because you don't need to put a new color of paint, then another color. If you keep adding water, all those paints will get together and become one big happy family, right? So I will take a little bit more of this green and put it right here so that I don't have that white showing in between my flower. And I'm going to be really daring here. And I'm going to take a little bit of this brown, and I'm going to go right inside here and put some of that color in here, because I don't like that white showing on my canvas. I want to have color all around my flowers. And again, I'll take a little bit of water, right? How about we go a little darker, brown and blue. So come here and do a little bit more of that. And then, oh, look how pretty that looked with the purple. It turned into a new color. I like that. See, that's how we get creative. People look at artists and say, oh, I wish I could paint like them, and they get all these creations. Well, don't let them fool you. They're doing just what I'm doing here. They're practicing and experimenting and finding things out, and then they put it in a painting and everybody goes, ooh, wow, I can't believe they thought of that. Well, they really didn't. It happened by accident. Most of the stuff that artists do happens by accident. It's never a pre-planned anything. I like that white showing down there. It kind of gives the painting a little bit of movement, and I like what the blue did here. It kind of made this little guy stand up a little bit more. Stand out, not stand up, stand out. So I will take that blue And I hope you are all following. I know some of you are going to stay live through the whole video, some of you not, but that's okay. You can watch it later when you're at home. I'm going to put a little bit more red on here.
Yes. I noticed that you're using gravity to help you paint, like you got it all running down.
Yes.
So folks might be interested in commenting on that.
Yes. We are using gravity to make the water go down and the paint. So what I'm doing is I'm taking that little tape that we put at the beginning, remember, in the middle, and I'm using it as a tool. So if you don't have an easel at home, this is a good way to pretend you're painting on an easel. So I hold my little tape here and I let gravity take over. I put paint on it, and you know that if something is really wet and it's on an angle, it's going to go downhill. So this is what I'm doing on my painting here. And you can do it going the opposite way too, if you wanted to have it come the other way. But for this class here, we're doing it going down. And if you notice, some of the leaves disappeared when we did adding of the colors, but you can tell that there was a leaf there. So don't go back and say, oh, my leaf went away, let me fill it in. Leave it. That's what you want to do. Make believe that there's a leaf there. And I will add a little bit of blue to this little guy here because it's talking to me and it's saying, I need a little color on there and you have forgotten all about me. So I made that into a little petal, and I'm going to put a little white right on the top here of that flower. And I always use my paper towel. Sometimes my paper towel is like a big bowl by the time I finish up a class, and it has all this color in it and my hand gets all dirty, and that's the fun of it all. But unless you're going to be doing some paint dripping, don't use a lot of water in your paint. Take advantage of what the paint is giving you and use that. So this little guy here, I want to add a little bit more of that pretty red that we have on our palette, because even though this is not dry, you can still keep adding color to this flower right here. See that? And by adding color, you keep making it more fluffy and more fluffy, or fluffier. I don't know what the proper way of saying it is, but I guess fluffier sounds better. And we have too much white showing on there. So again, I will take, you can even add, like right now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a little bit of fiber paste to my brush, and I'm going to come right here. How about a little bit more than a little bit, and just go here right on the edge. Because what's going to happen is, see how that paint already is pulling in that fiber paste? So that will give you a little shading. So you don't have to just do the fiber paste at the beginning. You can just take your time and add it at the end if you want to. If you see that one area is not fluffy enough, then just come back and see how I added my fiber paste. And that elevated it again. And all that paint, you see that? It's coming right into my little flower. And I'm going to put a little bit on here. And that looks, I think, really good. Thank you. Thank you for saying that it looks good. I appreciate it. So here, I'm going to rinse this out, and I want a little bit more yellow on my side here. But you can put any color you want. See, by just putting a little color on here, it just elevates it a little bit more. Did I miss any questions from the?
Not this far. It was all right along.
Okay. So since we're going to be running out of time pretty soon, I want to just point out a few things to you. This will take, like I said, a while to dry, because this fiber paste, if you think about it, it's going to be just it's layers of fibers in there. So if you touch it, the top may be dry, but the bottom may be not. So don't go and stick your finger in it and say, oh, it's dry, because you may just get a big fingerprint on there. And like I said, if you have any questions at all, we'll be free no matter when. Just put in your comments any questions you have. If there's anything you liked about this project or something you didn't like, let us know also, because that's how we know we can improve our programming. If there's something else you would like to learn that is not necessarily this, put it in the comments too, because we're going to analyze all your comments and come up with new projects for you. So this is just the first. So you're in at a good time watching us, because like this, there'll be many more to come. And we will have 2 more videos coming up that you can watch after this one at your leisure. And it will have a couple of different projects. One is going to be a textured bird, and one is going to be a heart with a flower on it. So, and that is going to be really, really simple to do. So the sky is the limit. Just really keep practicing. Keep those samples coming to us. And please leave your comments with what you liked and what you didn't like and what you would like to see in the future. And I want you to know that this would not have been possible if it was not for the Community Foundation of Greater Birmingham and the Shelby County Arts Council. So a big hand to them, because they're the ones who made this possible. And I am looking forward to seeing you at some future classes. So keep that art coming, and thank you for watching me. I'm Chris Cruz. You can just, in your comments, let me know what you liked. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you at the next video.